Hello and welcome back to another video in the Complete Web Dev series. We are building the content management system using object-oriented programming and PHP. We're also building this in an MVC framework that we've built out. And so what we're going to do in this video is actually display our list of our articles that are available on the front end part of the site. So we finished up the admin area where you can add categories and articles and users, and now we want to finish up the front end where people who don't have access or people that just visit it can actually read your blogs. And so we'll see how far we get. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but let's go ahead and switch over to our screen here, and I'm just going to make sure XAMPP is up and running, and I'm going to clear this and do a git branch. All right, we're going to be on v35, so I'll do git checkout -b v35. Once I've done that, I'm going to do a git push set upstream origin v35, and we are ready to go now. So what we're going to need open is we are going to need access to our go to app and controllers and open up your blog controllers. This is where all of our blog actions are going to be. Also open up your CSS and styles.css. We have a little bit more CSS to finish here. And then go ahead and go to your views and open up blog and index. Okay. I think this is good enough to get us started. So I'm going to close my Explorer here just to give us a little bit more space to see the code. So let's go ahead now and start on this index action. Now we've already kind of worked on this a little bit, but we don't need this DB if you have that still from an earlier video. What we're going to do is start building out our conditions, and we're just going to find all of our articles here, and we'll even do some pagination as well. But the conditions here is we're going to use an associative array, and we're going to pass in conditions. And you know what? I'm going to call this params just to make this variable name a little shorter. And conditions are going to be, oops, I have a typo there. Conditions are going to be quite a bit, well, here, let's just do article.status, and we're going to set that equal to status, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our bind, and in our bind we want to have the status set to public. Okay. The next thing, oops, this needs to be a string. The next thing that we want to set is our order, and I'm going to put these ordered by the newest to the oldest, so we're just going to do ID descending like that. This is good enough now, so let's go ahead and do our articles, and that's going to be equal to articles. Now this is a model, the articles model, and we'll do our find method, and we'll pass our params right into there. But we need to go ahead and bring this in, and so we need to do use app models, and then we'll bring in articles like this. Okay, once we've done that, let's go ahead and just right here, let's do an H dump and die, and let's just look at the articles that we're getting back. So if I go to the home page, article.status, let's do articles.status, and there we go. We'll get an empty array, and that is because I don't have any, excuse me, I don't have any active. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the admin portal, and we'll just go to articles, And what I'm going to do is go to edit these, and we're going to make these public. Oh, now we have a problem here. Great. Public. See if it's not even saving. Dang it, we screwed up the upload stuff again. The upload stuff never stops coming back to haunt us. I hate uploads with a passion. So let's go to our models and let's go to the upload. And let's see. Let's open up the admin controller and go to the article action. This sucks that we have a bug here, but we need to solve it. I just wasn't expecting to jump into this. I thought we had this solved in the last video, but apparently not. And for whatever reason, the check that's happening, this, for some reason, isn't making much of a difference. Validate. First, let's dump and die our upload errors right here. That's weird. I'm just gonna hit save, and it's saying file is required. So our ID is 17, and what we're doing is we're saying, hey, if ID does not equal new, then article required is equal to false. So let's look at the validate here. If empty this.temp and this required, it should only be running if the required is set. So I guess one thing we can do is let's just right here with the dump and die, I'm gonna check the upload. Dang it, that's the problem right here. This article, this should be upload required false. I don't know how this didn't come up before. I had the wrong freaking thing set somehow. But if I go back now, I should be able to set this to public and save that. Okay. Let's go back to the validate function. And what we'll do here, I guess what we'll have to do is say if if not empty, and we'll just do this temp, and then right here we'll do if not empty, and we'll say this temp. All right, hopefully that solves all of our upload issues. All right, so that's saved, and let's go back. Yep, it's still there. I'm gonna update all of these to public so that they show up in the front end of the site. And I guess I'll go ahead and create a new one just to make sure we didn't break anything again with the upload. So I'm gonna call this delete me public grilling let's do cat. All right, edit. All right, the cat's there. We'll delete me. Yep. Okay, all looks well. So if something else is broke with the uploads, man, we'll just have to look at it later. But hopefully we've solved all the issues now. I don't know how I had all those bugs that we didn't see in previous iterations of this, but I must have been doing things in just a certain order that some of this didn't come up. All right, so I should have tested that more. So I'm gonna close the upload. Hopefully we don't need to mess with that again. I'm gonna close the admin controller. Actually, let me go back to that. What did I change here? Oh, yeah, just that. Yep, we need to change that. All right, so now if we go back to the index page, so I'm gonna click on free skills here. We can see we get 3 back, and these articles are the 3 articles that I've written. Now, Tony had an article in here as well. If I go to the database, and I could just set these to public here. I'm gonna set Tony's also to public. I'm just gonna do it in a database, just because I don't feel like logging out and logging back in as her. But if I refresh now, there should be 4. And Tony's is right here. Okay, so we have mine and Tony's showing up, so that's good. I feel comfortable with that. The thing is I probably want to get the author name with this, and I also want to get the category name with this. So what we can do is we can do additional columns with our params here. So with our columns, what we want is we're going to just do articles dot star to get all of our articles, and then what we're going to do is say users dot fname and users dot lname, and then we're going to do category dot name, and we'll do as category, and then we're going to do categories dot id as category id. Okay, so that's our columns. I need to put a comma here at the end of that. So that's going to get our articles, all of those columns, and then we're going to do a join to get the user, which is the author at this point, and the categories here. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add some joins in here. So I'm going to do those below my bind. We'll say joins, and that's going to be an array, and it's going to be an array of arrays. So the first one in the array is going to be users. Okay, so that'll be this right here. So we're telling it what table we're going to join. And then the second element of that array is the on clause. So we're going to say articles dot user underscore ID is equal to users dot ID. And then we're going to, well, that'll be it for that one. And then we need another join, and I'm going to go ahead and break this down into multiple lines just so it's easier to read. But we're going to need another join right here. And this one, we're going to join categories like that. And the on clause for this will be our articles dot category underscore ID is equal to categories dot ID. And then we're going to give it the alias of categories. And then we're going to give it the type is going to be left. So this will be a left join like that. All right, so we'll save that, and now let's see what happens when we refresh. And we got a problem. CMS.users does not exist, and that's because I have a typo somewhere. Right here, I forgot my E. Let's try again. All right, so now we get back, still 4 objects, except for now we also have the F name and the L name, which will be the first and last name of the author. This one has 0 category. It also doesn't show the category ID, so I must have a problem there. But this one here, this article shows computer science. This one says board games, and that one also says board games. So why isn't category ID showing up? Categories dot ID as category ID. Let me look through here real quick to see if it, there it is. It is here, category ID. I just missed it. So category ID is in here. So we have our joins going the way that we want to go. Okay. The other thing is, let's just go ahead and add params is equal to, and we're going to say articles, and we'll do articles merge with pagination, and we'll pass params into this. And let's do this view total is equal to articles find total, and we'll pass params into that so that we can use pagination now. And let's just dump and die this view total, save that, and make sure this still says 4. Oh, ambiguous. And that is because of this right here. I don't know why this didn't show up before, but what we're going to do here is say articles.id, and now it says 4. Okay. So that's good to go. Let's see here. What else we got to do in this controller action? Let's do this view heading, and we'll set this equal to new articles. The reason I'm going to do the heading here is because we're going to reuse the view for multiple different actions here. I'll go ahead and get rid of this dump and die. And then we just need to pass articles down. And what we could actually do here is just do, since we're not using it for anything else, we can do this view articles is equal to articles find. There we go. So I think that this is it for our controller action. Let's just go back and refresh here. All right, so now we just got our view loading in. So let's go ahead and start populating that view with our articles. So go ahead and open up the index.php. Now this is views blog index. And what we're gonna do here is replace the H1 with an H2, because I think that's what we did everywhere else. And instead of welcome to our blog, this right here is going to have PHP echo, and we're going to echo out this heading. If we save that now, this should say new articles. Okay. Now we need to go ahead and do the rest of this. And so this isn't too bad. We're going to do, let's do a div, and we're going to do a class of articles wrapper, like that. And then we're going to do inside of here a PHP for each. And I'm going to break out of that with this semicolon, skip down a few lines, and we'll do PHP end for each. All right, and then for our parameters in our for each, we're going to do this articles as article. All right, so then what we're going to do here is we are going to do a div with a class equal to card and article dash preview, and inside of that we're going to do an image, and this image is going to have a class of card image top, and the source for this will be root And then we're going to do article. Well, we're going to concatenate on article image like that. And then for now, let's just get rid of this alt. Close this up. And then what we're going to do is we have that image. Then we're going to do a div with a class of card body. And we're going to have an h5 with a class of card title. And in here, we're going to go ahead and echo out article title. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a paragraph tag. And this paragraph tag is just going to say by, and then we'll do a space. And then we're going to do an a tag here. And we'll do an href equal to, let's go ahead and close out this a tag. The href is going to be the root. And then we're going to concatenate on the blog author. And then we'll do / and then we're going to go ahead and do article ID. All right, and then for the link text, we're going to do article fname, and we'll concatenate on a space, and we'll do article lname. Close PHP there. So that's what that whole line looks like. Underneath that, we're going to do a div with a class of card text. And inside there, we're going to do a PHP echo, and we're going to echo out HTML entity decode. And inside this entity decode, we're going to do article body. And then we're going to do an anchor tag here. And we'll do this with a class of text info. And this will go to root blog details article ID. So this will be a link that takes them to a new controller action that has the article ID. And for the text here, we're just going to say read more. So let's save this view and let's go back and refresh and see what happens. Yeah, it's going to look really bad because we haven't done any of our CSS, but you can see that it looks like it is working, or it's at least looping through all of our articles and printing stuff to the screen. So let's go and make that look nice now. So go ahead and open up the styles.css. This won't take much styling at all. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to make this a flex box. So we're going to do articles-wrapper. And this class is going to have a display flex. And then we're going to do a flex wrap, and then we're going to do a gap of 48 pixels. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to do a class for the article preview. And that article preview, we're just going to set the width to 250 pixels. All right. The next thing that we want to do is we want to do the article dash preview. And then inside of that, we're going to look at the image with a card image top class. And what we want to do here is set the height of that image to 150 pixels. And then we're going to do an object fit to cover. All right. The next thing, let's go ahead and do the text here, and we'll say article preview dot, and inside of that we're going to target the card text. And here we're going to say we want the max height of this to be 4.5 rem. We're going to do the padding right as 1 rem. And then we're going to do overflow hidden. All right. So let's save that now and go back and refresh. Now I need to right click and hit inspect, and right click again and hit empty cache and reload. All right, so now you can see that we have these articles that are showing up on the page. Let's test the limit. I'm gonna just put it to 2. Okay, good. So pagination's working. Perfect. So now we have these, and these links here will go to read more. And we haven't created that yet, and we're not going to just yet, but I think this is working good. And you have a little bit of blurbs here, but it's going to have a max height, so it'll never grow more than that. So that keeps all of these at the same height. And then the article author is here, and those are going to be links as well. And those links will take you to another controller action it will filter down just to only see articles by that author. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is, let's see how much time I've got into this video. So we're at 27 minutes. We got some time still. Let's go ahead and make it work with the articles and categories. Okay, so now that we have the styles, we shouldn't need that anymore. We actually shouldn't need this index view anymore. So let's go back to the blog controller, and let's do the category action. Public function category action, and this is going to take an category ID in as a parameter. So what we're going to do here is we're pretty much going to do the exact same list up here. I wonder if there's a way that we can reuse this part of this. Because what's going to be different here is the conditions. You know what? Let's try this. This might be fun. Let's create a public. We'll just copy it. Basically, copy everything from inside this index. We'll paste that in. And the only thing that's going to change here, which is horrible to say because we probably shouldn't be copying this, but well, we'll just do it quickly here. So the conditions here is going to be article status is equal to status, but we're going to say before that we also want to set the articles dot category ID is going to be equal to, and then we'll just say cat ID, and then we'll say and article.status. So then we just need to add to this bind, and here we're just going to say cat ID is going to be equal to category ID, like that. Okay. And then in this render, since we're not rendering the category view, we need to tell it to render the blog index. So it's going to reuse that same view, so we don't need to make the view again. So let's now go and let's let's see, category. Did we not have category? Let me double check something in my reference. One thing that we need to do probably is to make our heading a little bit different. So instead of it saying new articles, let's go ahead and find our category. And first thing is we're going to check if category ID is equal to 0. Then we're going to say category is equal to a new categories model, and we need to bring that in. So right here in this model, so let's make this a group, and let's say categories. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say new categories, and we're going to say category ID is going to be 0. Category name is going to be uncategorized, like that. Else, what we're going to do is we're just going to say category is equal to, and then we're going to say categories find by ID, and we're going to pass in the category ID. All right, and then what we'll do is for the heading, we're just going to say category, and we'll do a space here, and then we'll say category name, like that. So now if I go and we go to category 1, category controller, oops, this needs to be blog / category. There's only one with that category in computer science. So let's see what else we have. We have 2. There we go. Let's try 0, just make sure that works. All right, and we have 1 that's uncategorized. Perfect. So that's working. Let's try something that doesn't exist, like 7. And this is attempt to read on bool. So let's do this. Let's say if at this point, if not category, then we're going to do a session message, and the message here, let's just do that category does not exist, and we'll give us this a style of let's just do warning, make it a little bit different, and then we'll do a router redirect, and we're just going to redirect them to the home page. We'll just do it empty. So we need to bring in the session and the router. So up here with our core, we'll bring in router and session, like that. And let's refresh, and that brings us back here with this warning that says that category does not exist. And if we go to blog 2, dang it, blog category 2, there we go, that works. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is we are going to do the author action. So we'll do public function author action, and this will take an ID in. We'll say author ID. That's what we'll call it. And then again, this is going to copy a lot of the index. So go ahead and just copy all the code out of this index one. And here what we're going to do is first of all, we're going to render the same view, so we don't have to remake the view. And the conditions, we're going to add where user ID is equal to author ID and article status. And then what we'll do here is in our bind, we'll say user ID is author ID, status is public. Okay. And then for the heading, we could either get let's do up here, let's just get the user. Well, let's say author is equal to, and we're going to say users dot find by ID, not dot, I've been working in JavaScript all day. Users find, oh my gosh, this is static, find by ID, and we're going to pass in author ID. And so we'll need to and up here in our models, we'll need to use the users model as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say if not author, then we're going to do a session message. We'll say that author does not exist. And we'll also do a warning message for that. And then we'll do router redirect, and we're just going to redirect them to the home page. I guess we got to pass in an empty string here. All right, so once we have that, then our heading, instead of new articles, it's just going to be author, and then we'll do a string literal here, and we'll say author display name. All right, I'm gonna save that, and let's try now. Let's look at the authors in our database. So the users, we have 7 and 6 are legitimate. So what we can do instead of category, we're just gonna say author and author 7. Okay, and we got a problem here. So let's go and look at that. Parameter number, parameter was not defined. Oops. Wait a minute. User author ID. Oops, I put this as user ID, and this should have been author ID. There we go. So this is all the author here. So then let's do 6, and that author is Tony, and this is her articles. So this allows us to filter by the authors. Now the one thing that I do want to add here as well is we do need to open that view blog index back up, and underneath the articles wrapper here, let's add PHP this partial, and let's do partials pager, and then we'll refresh, and then we have pagination. Let's try to go to an author that doesn't exist, like 1 for me, and that says that author does not exist, and it just takes us back to the home page. Sweet. So now we have the ability to see all of the articles. Just doesn't matter what the author is, as long as they're public, they'll show up. And then we can segment them by, oops, what's going on there? Author 19. Oops, I made a mistake. This author right here, I did ID here, and this should have been user underscore ID for this link right here. So make sure you update that. Let me refresh here, and we should be able to click here to go to the articles from here. So yeah, that looks like it's working good. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the display page for when they click read more. So the details, it'll expand the entire article out. And then we're also going to finish up our menu so that we can have our authors and our categories in our menu in these drop down links. This will be like articles, and they can click to go there. That will pretty much wrap up the site. I'm probably going to do maybe another video after that just to do a security update for config, and we may add in a video at some point to the end of this chapter for putting this live and having this work on a live server, just because that's been requested. But so far, I mean, this is working. We just need to make the menu dynamic and add the authors and categories up there, and then make this page work where we have the details printed to the screen. All right, guys, with that, I will let you go. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you've enjoyed this so far. Let me know what the best thing you've learned so far is in this chapter. Hopefully you'll tell me object-oriented programming, because that was the goal. Now, you're still going to probably be a little bit rusty on it, or not understand it completely, and that's fine. But you should be a lot more comfortable with it than when we started this. So that's that. Let me go ahead and do git checkout main, git merge v35, and git push. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.